Throughout the nearly 7-year investigation and the trial, Price has said he was unfairly targeted. We talked to Price supporters who were obviously pleased with the outcome.
A lot of people thought it couldn't happen. I'm telling you, I knew what was going on, and I was still nervous because it's not always come out like this. And for that jury to stay there like they did was a very good thing.
Jurors deliberated for 8 days before reaching the not guilty verdicts.
And Attorney Chrysta Castan is in, not part of the trial, but you sat in many, many days.
I did, Heather.
Appreciate you being here. What do you think? Are you surprised at all?
I'm not.
No, why not?
I saw that the prosecution was having trouble tying together the allegations in this case to the very specific dates that the jury was asked to find that Mr. Price and Ms. Fain did something wrong.
Well, so the jury was presented with thousands and thousands of pages of documents. Could they just then not connect the dots then from what the prosecution was saying? Here you go, this is what we've got?
It was very complicated evidence. They had IRS investigators and FBI agents explaining years, probably a decade of financial transactions. It'd be like going back through your own bank book register and trying to figure out what happened 2.5 or 7 years ago. That's the kind of evidence the jury had to sift through.
So there wasn't one smoking gun that says, this is it, take a look at this?
There was not, and that was really a challenge for these prosecutors, plus the fact that they employed kind of a shotgun approach rather than a rifle shot approach. They went big rather than focusing on one thing.
So we just heard Sean say they've got about 30 days to figure out what to do. What do you think prosecutors are then doing right now? Because they've spent millions of dollars and so many man-hours going after Price.
You're exactly right. It's such a complicated endeavor for an 8-week trial, enormous resources. The jury hung up on 4 of the counts, the tax fraud counts. They're evaluating whether or not they can actually prove those counts, and likely as not, they may choose not to retry.
So we heard Daphne Fain's attorney say this is a historic verdict. Why do you think that is? Why do you think you said that?
Well, I think it's historic from the standpoint of this is an issue that's been hanging over this community for a very long time, and to have a jury's determination based on the evidence that they heard that says he's acquitted of these crimes and we can't decide on the others, that is a turning point for this community.
So you say it's hanging over the community. Is it then, to follow up with that, hanging over Price? I mean, where does he go personally and professionally? Is it just like, okay, it's in my past, I'm done, let's move forward, and the community then needs to as well?
Mr. Price told people today he was going back to the Commissioner's Court to do his work. I think that's probably what he will end up doing. At some point, this will all settle down. We'll know then.
All right, Chrysta, thank you for coming in, and thank you for all your insight during this trial. And I guess we will see what the federal government does and look to you again as this moves forward, or not.
Thank you, Heather.
Thanks, Chrysta.